Welcome back to Media 7, where we're talking about magazines with Wendell Nisson, Finlay McDonald and Linda Hallinan. As you heard at the top of the show, in the most recent ABC circulation figures, two flagship food titles, Cuisine and Dish, suffered losses. But another title, The Healthy Food Guide, is up nearly 15% in a year. Simon Pound popped down to the Auckland Food Show recently to dip a finger into the food press.
In gloomy current affairs, you can't turn around for news of recession and people complaining about the price of cheese. But that is boring. They're talking about cheese in another buoyant sector of the media too, like Camembert, Pont-l'Evêque, Brie, Gruyere. We intrepidly braved this food expo to check in on one recent media success: food titles. There is the veteran Cuisine and newcomers Dish and Taste. Where did this sector come from? Well, a Kiwi helped define it, with a mag not made in New Zealand. Michael McHugh was working in Oz and launched Delicious. It was a smash.
In the first issue, we only printed 50,000. It was going to be bi-monthly. It now sells over 130,000.
The recipe for success was to take chefs and treat them like Women's Day treats royals.
There was this sort of growing theme of chefs becoming almost like rock stars.
And shoot the food looking lovely. You can see there's quite a crowd interested in life's luxuries, food as escapism maybe. Not that they skirt hard issues. Occasionally, this sector has been accused of straying into food porn. Food writer Martin Bosley of The Listener.
You know, there's so much oozing and moistness and delicious and all these other things. It's just evoking those sort of, those senses, those images, and people sitting on the sofa at home going, yeah. I mean, I think we need to get more testosterone back into food, actually, which I think it's got great. We've got male food writers because we kind of bring that to it.
Maybe there is a place for both the oozers and the blokes. There is, if you look at what Michael is up to now. Many things at once is the new model that McHugh and his wife have launched with Mind Food.
Because everyone is so time poor, flat out juggling career and family, their time is really, really precious. It's Mind Food. It's like 6 magazines in one.
Well, he could be right. People are time poor. Like the busy, pushed, exploited Media 7 team. The things we do in the name of work.
Simon Pound with that report, and you cannot accuse us of not doing our research. Linda, if we could talk a little bit about the future. You expressed the view earlier on that the internet was going to be the way forward, at least in interplay with the print magazine. You don't even have a website at the moment.
I know, we've got a small problem with our website. It's under development, but the way that I look at it, for example, I get people writing me all the time asking questions. I don't physically have time to reply to them all, but our readers could reply to each other's questions. And I think in the past, magazines have made websites that were ads for their mags, so it's like, in the latest issue, and then go and buy the mag. But I don't think, if you're on the internet looking for content, that's not really satisfying. So I think it's about having a whole different magazine almost that complements the main one. And in the long run, I guess the magazine will really be a reference guide to say, check this out at this part of our website and this part of our website.
I'll be interested to see how long it takes to happen, because the perception at the moment is certainly that newspapers are getting their heads around the internet and magazines are not. And if you look at Metro Live, Metro Magazine's website, they've just cut back on resources for that because it wasn't making money. Finlay, I don't know what the Listener website's there for. Do you?
Well, it was started when I was there. We always had great visions for it.
But I quite often go to the Listener website and read all the issues that I didn't buy. So.
I think newspapers, news works better on the internet to me than magazine. I think opinion works very well on the internet, but I think a long, protracted feature is not necessarily the perfect medium, the internet. But then, the buzzword is monetised, they say that newspapers will all end up online, but someone's got to actually find a way of making an online newspaper as profitable as a newspaper made of newspaper is currently, and it's not that easy, I don't think, and I think it's doubly hard for magazines. So they flounder around thinking we better be on the internet, but they don't really know what they're doing.
It was interesting, David Remick, the new editor, 10 years ago of New Yorker, his attitude to website was, I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm not going to not be there. And it seems to have really worked for him. I'm not sure what he's done, but he wasn't going to just not have a website because it might, take readers away. He's got a very good website present. And interestingly, increases in circulation at 18 to 24. Everyone wants 18 to 24. So
Is that going to keep
obviously
being the
it's working
case,
for him.
though? Because I wonder whether over 50s are the ones who've paid off their mortgages and
We're
are
all
going to
at
have more
home.
disposable
We're all at
income.
home in front of the fire drinking. You know, we're not really out there paying and buying things. I mean, I have 4 kids in the 18 to 24 age range. They live and die on the internet. They don't even watch TV.
No, do they read? How much print do they read?
They read quite a lot online, though. They read newspapers and magazines. They watch a hell of a lot of television just downloaded. They don't even go to the movies, and everything's downloaded onto the computer. So don't tell me internet isn't the face of the future. And any magazine who can work out how to get my children off the internet and out to buy something that's made of paper and ink is a genius.
Is anyone close to working that out, though?
Well, in my defence, yeah.
Here's Linda.
I must just say that, like, we launch this e-newsletter weekly, and we say, basically, this is what you need to do in your garden this weekend. The only reason we launched this was because, basically, I can't grow readers until I grow gardeners. If you're not interested in gardening, you're never going to buy my magazine. So I figure, well, I'll get you into gardening, and then when you're thoroughly addicted, you won't have it for any other way to resist my magazine.
See?
And so it's
Clever.
basically getting it in that way instead.
Told you she was good.
I just wonder, we've been talking about magazines, we haven't talked about what you all read. What are your respective must-reads? What magazines do you buy?
I don't read any magazines, really. I flip through women's magazines when I'm in the checkout counter and if they're lying around in other people's houses. True confession.
See, I just subscribed to North and South with my flybys, and the only reason I did that was there was nothing else that I wanted. There really aren't that many great New Zealand magazines. No, I buy
obviously.
the British GQ and the British Esquire and the Listener almost every time. But
I can read
I don't
most
buy
of that. I
lifestyle
can read
mags.
most of that stuff online. I can even read the Times Literary Supplement online. I mean, it can hurt my eyeballs, but it's
But
cheap.
no, you see, this is the argument. You can't you can't do the computer in the bath. You can't do it on the bus.
I don't want to read a magazine in the bath.
No, but this is normal people. I hate to tell you, read
Wash in the
magazines.
bath.
They read magazines in the bath, on the bus. They read it in other places. I mean, I read Healthy Food Guide and New Zealand Guide. I subscribe to them, but I'm also getting into a lot of the American Martha Stewart Body and Soul. They're doing a lot of this kind of earthy green
I think
eco,
craft is the next thing.
which is, I think, yeah.
Well, I think that's for a subsequent show, but we have run out of time now. So thank you for joining us, Wendell Nissen, Phil McDonald and Linda Hallinan, and thank you for watching. We'll be back with Media 7 at the same time next week. Until then, goodbye.